Hello everyone, welcome back to a new video. Today I'm going to bring you another Let's Draw video, and today we're going to be drawing a chicken. So starting off with Procreate on the iPad, we want to start with making our canvas, and you click the little plus button right here at top. And we're going to do let's do a 1080 by 1080. I like this one because it's easier to post on Instagram and it gets the whole picture into Instagram instead of cutting it off. So 1080 by 1080 square. Okay, here's our canvas. Now, I've left a link in the comment or in the description section where you can download all of the things that you will need for this tutorial. I've done it, structured it where you're able to do it to your level. In other words, I've kind of set it up where you could do it for 3 different levels of skill as far as art goes. And I'm going to explain that right now. So when you download, in the download, you're going to get 2 sketches. One's going to be with grid lines on it, and another one's going to be without grid lines. And I'll explain that more a little bit later. You're also going to get the color palette that I use, and you're going to get the brushes that I use also. It's completely free download, but it gives you the option of putting in an amount there that you think is worth it. You don't have to. If you'd like to, you can, and I would highly appreciate it to support the channel. So let's get started. First thing what I'm going to show you is if you are very new to drawing, have no skill whatsoever, and you wanted to try your hand at sketching, you can load up the sketch that I made with grid lines on it. And here's what I'm talking about. Now if you hit the little wrench icon up here at top and you make sure you have it on add right here and insert a photo. Now here's the one that I'm going to give you with the grid lines on it. And you can see once you bring it in here, you can kind of adjust it, and it should be, you can like just do it perfect, or you can just put the chicken, basically in the center or whatever you like, but it should be the same 1080 by 1080 as our canvas size is. And you hit the little arrow key again, and there you are. This is the one with grids on it. Now, if you've ever drawn a picture with grids before, it makes it a lot easier. And what I recommend doing is, instead of adding it as a picture, is to add it as a reference photo. And I'll show you what I mean by that. You can do this for the one without grids on it, and you can load it in your layers here, and you can kind of reference it, or you can just use it like it is, and then you can just sketch over it if you like. So whatever skill level you are, I'm trying to accommodate everyone. So I'm going to clear this one out, clear this layer, and there we go. And then what I'm talking about is hit the wrench again, and then go to canvas here, and reference right there, turn that on. You're going to get this little reference window, hit image, and import an image. And then you can load up the one with the grid lines on it. And instead of putting it on your canvas, it's going to put it over here on the side. And you can resize this however you like it. And then what you can do is hit the wrench again, go into drawing guide, turn that on, edit your drawing guide. And I usually set the opacity all the way up. It's just your preference. It doesn't really matter. And I put the thickness all the way up too. Now the grid size that I made for this chicken is the same as we did with the gorilla. It's going to be 272 pixels. So you can take that up to 272. And if it's really hard sometimes to get it right on there, so you can always just tap on the number here and you can just type it in here and hit done. And there you go. Hit done again. Now we have a grid that matches exactly our picture here. And what you can do now is you can look at these little squares and you can sketch it out. And we're going to be using a 6B pencil, which comes standard with the Procreate application. I've also given it to you again in the download, so it doesn't really matter. You can load it in or you don't have to, whatever. So here we have this little cross here. Now with this section here, what we can do is we can follow this grid line and we can kind of make our sketch. Well, look, I got it on white. Let me change the color to, here's the chicken one. I just gonna change it to black here. Go back, okay, so, like. Okay, so you can see you can follow the grid line here if you're not that good at sketching. And see, I've almost matched it exactly. It's not going to be perfectly matched, but you know, it's your drawing, so you should have your style on it. You don't have to copy exactly what I do. All right, so there we got the top of the chicken here. Let's go ahead and I'm going to do this mouth part here so I can kind of get that. And we're going to start about right here and go up and around. If you hold it, it'll make your perfect little oval here. And also your ellipse, you can always hit edit here on ellipse, and then you can just change this however you like it. And you can do that with every line that you draw on here, which is pretty awesome about Procreate. So I can kind of match it up exactly the way I want it. And then when you're done, you can just tap the screen again, and there you go. I think I got my chicken comb here a little bit too big. So I'll show you what you can do to edit things that you maybe made too big or you made too small or whatever the case may be. If you hit the, I don't know what you call it, a little squiggly line here right next to the arrow between the magic wand and the arrow here. And if you put it on freehand, you can make a selection around this and tap it again. And then you can hit the arrow. Now we can resize it. So I didn't like the size of it here. I could make it smaller. I could also distort it here. So that we can stretch it out or whatever we want to do with it here. Or you can warp it. And warp it really makes it wild. So here you can just do all kinds of strange things with it. But anyway, I'm not going to get into that. You can kind of experiment with that if you like. So I'm going to put it back the way it was. Alright, I think this should be a little bit smaller. I'm going to put it on uniform so it'll resize perfectly. So we're going to need some room for his eyes. Maybe right there. That's good. Alright, and now let's put his upper portion of his face here. So I got it coming off about right here. And remember, this is just our sketch. It don't have to be perfect. Okay. And then his about there. That's fine. Looks good. Alright, and let's do his little size of his chicken mouth here. About like that. And then, oops. That's one thing with a pencil. If you tilt your pencil too far, it'll start kind of shading. So you want to keep it more perpendicular, or what is it, vertical? So it will not do that. I did it again. Looks good. I think the mouth is a little bit too big. If you can look at this, see how the lower portion here is coming in kind of in the middle of the square, and mine's way down here. So again, what we can do is hit the little squiggly line. We can, what happened? Alright, it's going crazy on me. Here we go. And I can select it again and then resize it. So if I want the bottom part to come up there, and I want the top to come up right about there. Maybe a little bit, that was a little bit too small, so I'm going to make it a little bit bigger here. I think that's it. Again, like I said, you don't have to be perfect right now. This is our sketch. Me, I'm kind of a perfectionist when it comes to my sketch because I don't know. It's just me. It's the way I do it. All right, so that's the head we got here. So let's get his eyes. Do an eye here. And what I like to do is, if you hold it down again, it'll make that perfect little oval there. And I want these guys to touch. It gives him kind of a goofy look. Alright, looks good enough. I'm going to put a little eyeball here, a little eyeball there. Eyebrows. Maybe like that. Alright, and let's get his beak in here. I'm going to go down. Oops. Do that again. Okay. And then I'm going to put these little marks in here where his mouth is open a little bit. Okay, and maybe these little things like that. Nose holes. Little 2 dots in there. Okay, so there we got our head going. Alright, let's get this body working here. Now we got the little combs. I think that's what you call those little things hanging down there. Maybe the combs at the top of his head. So, little gobbler things. So we got those, and let's do our neck. I'm just following a little guide here. There we go. Alright, let's get his kind of shoulders here. Let me see where our hand's going to be. Maybe we should do our hand first. That way we'll get the hand perfect, and then we can kind of connect it. So I'm going to do about here. Maybe right there. Did I come far enough over there to the edge? Yeah, I think so. I need to put my drawing glove on there. The thing about the iPads, when you touch it with your wrist here, it just makes it all move around a lot sometimes. And if you want to go back, just double tap it with 2 fingers, and it'll go back one time. Alright, that's good. Little finger here, and the wrist down there. Thumb's going to be out here. Now we can see where to just go ahead and, actually I got it kind of off. Again, squiggly line, select it, hit that, we can kind of rotate it. Not do anything we want with it here. I think that's good. Then we're going to connect it right there, and then we'll connect it, we'll come up here. Let's do this other arm over here. Alright, and good. Alright, connect it there. Okay, let's get this stomach. And maybe continue up here. That's good. And then bring his arm down here to connect again. Alright, now legs. Do one here, one here. Yeah, I don't like that toe there. Make it a little fatter. Okay, toenails. All right. Yeah, I think that's it. We're gonna go with that with our sketch. So now what I like to do is hit your little paper things up here, and I like to set the end, go to the end, set this to multiply. See all these little blending options here. So that makes it darker. And then you want to make sure you can see it here. You can move it over. I like to set the opacity down where I can barely see it. So we're going to ink on top of that. Okay, there we are. We have our sketch, and if you'd like to keep your layers kind of organized, you can tap on it, hit rename, and you can scribble that out right there, and we can write sketch on here. There we go. And what I'm going to do is make a new layer by hitting the plus. I'm going to put this layer under the sketch. Alright, now we're ready to start inking this thing. So I'm going to stay on black. We're going to go to the Streamline Inker brush that I gave you. And the reason I like this one is because we can do line weights. So thick to thin, when you're making cartoons, makes it look really good. So what I mean is we can start with a very low pressure, and then as we start to draw, we can push harder and then lay off the pressure. So we'll get a thin to thick to thin line again. And it's good because you can use this to signify your lighting also. So for example, if I want my lighting coming from this area here, coming down this way, I can do the lines that are closer to the light very thinner, and then the lines that are away from the light I can do thicker, which will kind of simulate a kind of a lighting thing. It's kind of a trick that you can do. So I'll show you what I mean by that. But anyways, let me take these off. And again, 2 fingers will erase the things. Alright, so let's get this inking going on here. So we'll get this comb started first. And so that's a little bit thicker than I wanted. So let me see what the size of the pen is here. I got it at 3%. That might be okay. I just maybe pushed too hard. So I'm going to start thin, push a little bit harder, and then go up thin again here. There we go. That's better. And what else you can do is you can always hit your eraser button here, and you can kind of shave those edges off. The reason it looks pixelated here is because our canvas size is kind of small. So there you go. You can see I've got it where it's thin now. Okay, go back to our pen here. Let's get another piece of this in. Again, I'm going to do thick, thin. And the light's going to be coming from this way, so the back side of this comb is going to be away from the light. So I'm going to make it a little bit thicker here in the back. So thin. Like that. Now you can see it's a little bit fatter back here than it is up here towards the light. Okay, so there's our comb done. Let's get this other part done here. Okay, and I'm going to turn this so I can get a better angle on it. Remember, your sketch is just your guide, so you don't have to follow it exactly. If something on the sketch doesn't look right to you, then you can just, like I said, I didn't follow it here perfectly. Now over here, I didn't either. Just kind of wanted to make this kind of even here. Alright, and the eyebrows I don't like at all on the sketch, so we're going to do those a little bit better on the inking part. Maybe like that is better. When we zoom out there, you can see it looks a lot better. And then just a couple lines up here. Oops. You gotta go slow when you got this streamliner on. because it kind of guides your pen, so it makes better curves and stuff. Okay, let's get these eyes. Alright, let me do this one more time. I'm going to do this thick to thin. Thin, thick, thin. Okay. There we go. I'm happy with that. Yeah, it looks okay. We're not doing any art contest here. Little eyeballs. Okay, let's get this mouth. Again, you can hold it down to make that perfect arc. Now do thick to thin. And you want to make sure that your lines are closed here. So you can always go back and make sure that's touching. Then our beak. Okay, and then let's do this part here. Yeah, I like it. Look at that. Okay, our little gobbler things here. I don't know what they're called, but actually, I'm going to put my glove on real quick. Because again, and I recommend if you don't have one of these to get one, because they really help you. So what it does is it covers this side of your hand that's going to be touching the canvas, and it doesn't allow you to do touches with it, and then it leaves your fingers open here to draw. They're really cheap and they help a lot. Let's do this. Okay, that's good. I'm liking it. Okay, let's get these hands done. I want to be careful with these hands. I want to make sure that they look really good because my sketch don't look good at all. So we're going to see if we can get these a little bit better. Okay, let's do, that's better. And here I want to make sure that's connecting there. It's going to come in play when we're coloring in our drawing here. Okay, looks good. Our wrist here. So I don't want that finger so long there, so I'm going to go back in here and erase this to about maybe right there. Okay, and then this part here. See that thick, thin to thick to thin. And then these parts here that you don't want to overlap, we can always go back in and erase those so they look good. That hand looks a lot better than it did. Okay, then let's connect his cheek and shoulder. Alright, let's do this hand over here. Alright, we want to do a that's good. Okay. Not happy with that one. Not feeling that one either. That one's better. Alright, we're going to do kind of a wrist there. And this finger. Let's see, how am I going to connect these? Let me see here. How are we going to do this? Maybe like that. Yeah, that's much better. Okay, let's connect the other chicken shoulder here. Alright, and let's get that stomach in. And here I overlap, so I want to take care of that. Alright, and back to our pin. Looking good. Maybe right here, maybe. Okay, that's good enough. Alright, let's do the legs. Okay, and there. And there, that's good. Okay, feet. Everything look connected, looks good. Our toenails. I don't like this first toenail. I'm gonna go back and just erase all of them. No, I want it kind of thin. That's better. Okay, let's do some. Oh, I'm not connected here. There we go. Do some lines here. Okay, and then maybe some toe marks. Maybe a couple back here. Yep. Like it, like it, like it. Okay. Let's get this last leg done. Like that. Then ooh, that one's a little bit too big there. Let's do, yeah, that's better. And then that's good. Maybe connect here. All right, toenails. Less pressure. All right, I like it. I like it. Okay, so our lines here. Okay, and then our toe marks. Oops, that one didn't work out. Okay, there he is. There's our final sketching done. Or not sketching, this is our line work. If we're happy with that, we can, if you're not happy with something, you go ahead and fix up anything that you didn't see. I'm check here that make sure we're all connected everything and looks so. So the coloring, oh, here's a mistake. This arm here. There we go. Okay, it looks good. Now we're going to put these feathers here. Let's do maybe one here. Okay, another one. Here, you can make them look like any way you want. Don't really matter. Just kind of some extra touches here. I didn't put these in the original sketch. Okay, so that one's too big. I'm going to do that one over. That's better. Okay, it's a little maybe sweat marks. Look like he's worried. Okay, those didn't work out. Again, when you got the streamline on, you need to go slow with the curves, or it'll try to straighten them up for you. Okay, looks good. He's worried about something. Maybe he's going to make fried chicken or something. So there we go. We got that done. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of our reference photo. Hit the wrench. Turn off reference. Don't need our drawing guide in there anymore either. So I'm going to turn that off too. And there we have just our line work. And then I can go in and click rename. And oops, that didn't work out. Acting really weird for me right now. Go back again. Rename. Scribble that out. Type in lines. I don't know why they got that one in there, but anyway. Okay, here we go. All right. Now, what I would like for you to do next is click on lines, and we're going to turn on reference for this one. So that's going to be a reference for our coloring. Then we're going to make a new layer, click on the plus. I'm going to put that under our lines, drag that down like that, let go, and now we're ready to color. So let's get our color flats in there. So if you click on the color guide here and you got your chicken palette that I give you into the download, we'll make his comb the red color here. And then what you can do is you can drag it over, drop it in, keep your pen held down, take the threshold up until it starts coloring something else, and then bring it back down until that goes away. And then that can kind of ensure that we get, oops, I got a little red dot on there, I don't want that. Erase that. Because if you don't do that, sometimes it'll leave like little tiny gaps in there, and we don't want those gaps in there, so make sure you do that threshold thing. Alright, and for the beak color, let's do the beak. I'm going to do this, I think, maybe this orange right here. And again, we can do the threshold thing. Okay, that looks good. And I think I want to do, I want this contrast for that little neck part and his stomach, so I want to do those two different colors. So what I'm going to do is maybe make the bright yellow one on his stomach, and then the kind of a light orange, I guess, color for that neck part up here. So let's see what that looks like. So I'm going to take this light orangish color kind of. So actually click on it, that changes it. Alright. Maybe his head too. Uh-oh. So you see what happened? It put that in there because I don't have a line closed. So I'm going to hit double tap that to take that off, and I'm going to look where our gap is at. I think it's right there. So go back to your line layer. Make sure you set it to black again. If you hold your finger down on the canvas until you get your little color picker comes up, and you can let go of it when it's on that color. So we didn't close this right here. So now it's closed. Now it shouldn't do that. So again, go back to your coloring layer. This is the biggest thing that you need to make sure that you're on the right layer when you do something, because I've done that so many times. Our light yellow color. There you go. See, it didn't do it that time. And we got this little spot here between his eyes that's its own little separate thing. There we go. And then I think I'm going to do the body, the lighter yellow here. Yeah, that looks better. And we'll do his legs that color too. Oops, that's open too. Yep, maybe right there. We'll get back to our lines again. Make sure you turn it back black. And let's make sure this is closed. Let's see if that's going to do it. We'll color pick that. Make sure we're back on the color layer again. There we go. Okay, so we got his legs. Let's do his hands and his feet. Maybe this orange color again. I don't know if I like that or not. Maybe we'll do his hands that other color. I don't know. I don't think I like that. Feet's okay. I think I'm gonna do the neck color. Yeah, I like that better. Okay, and the little gobbler things, I forgot about those. Red. And then maybe make inside his mouth here. We'll do that red too. Okay, and you want to be careful because we didn't color the eyes yet. And we can't tell because our background's white. So if you want to change the background color to something else, it don't really matter what you change it to. You can kind of tell the things that haven't been colored yet. So we want white, and I've given you white in the color palette. Drag his eyeballs in there. Okay, looks good. And his eyebrows, let's do these black. There we go. Okay, these little, go back to our orange. I have to fill each one of these separate. So another trick you can do is you can click that and it says up here color drop, continue filling, and you can just tap and it'll keep filling the same colors. Our toenails, maybe just same color. And just tap all those with our color fill. Okay, we're all colored. Let's get these feathers done. We'll do these the same. Well, we gotta turn color drop off. Oops, don't want that. Just tap color drop again, it'll go away. Let's do the yellow for the feathers here. Okay. Yep. Yep. And our little sweat drops here, I don't know, maybe black. Okay, there we are. We got our colors done, and I would suggest to put like little shines in his pupils here. And let me take the size down a little bit. What's going on? Oh, I know why. We're not on the... Our line layer is on top of our color layer. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to add a white over the light, but it's under it. So what we need to do is maybe turn off the... I don't know if that'll work. Let me turn off the reference. Will that work now? Yeah. I'm just going to put a little dot in each eye here. If you zoom out, you can see there's like a little reflection in his eye. Oh, we forgot our nose holes. Let's do... Oh, it don't matter what layer you do it on. Black. And we want a thin to kind of thick. Kind of like a long water drop. Or should that be the other way? I don't guess it really matters. Let's see what this one looks like. Yeah, maybe the other way. Here we go. Alright, now what we're going to do is we're going to do our shading. And go back to the background color. I'm going to turn that back to white again. For our shading, we want to do a new layer. We're going to do that above the colors. Alright, and layer 3, we can rename this to colors. And then layer 4, we're going to do shading or shadows. Shadows. That's good. We're going to do it a simple way because this is supposed to be a tutorial for beginners. But I'm just going to do it black and maybe keep it on streamliner. Okay, and I wanted our light coming in from the top left there, so we're going to maybe have this side of his face in shadow. So maybe from the top of the comb here to maybe right here. I think that's good. And then we need to, oops, I hit 2 fingers by accident and it erased it. If you want to put it back, do 3 fingers and it'll put it back. Now I need to close this so I can fill this in. So we need to take this all along the edge here. Just following the lines. And this right here. And I want to connect it to that. Now I should be able to fill this in. Yeah. All right, and you're probably thinking, "Oh, that looks horrible." But what we're going to do is we're going to go to the shadows layer. We're going to hit the N. We're going to take the opacity down. And now you can see it's made a neat little shadow for us. Here we go. Now we can start adding some more things in. And you just got to kind of think about if the light's coming down, how the shadows are going to fall. The beak right here is probably going to be hiding the under portion of it. So we're going to put definitely one under here. And make it a little bit bigger. Oops, that's too big. Alright, I think I got some above that. Erase that. Erase that shadow. And it's hard to see. You can kind of make it darker. We can make it lighter later. Put that up a little bit. You can see it better. And if you want these shadows to be nice and straight, you can just go back over those. Now, that kind of looks funny. That's not how shadow would fall. So we're going to just connect that and color that in here. And that's better. Maybe bring this down, kind of following the curves. I think that's better. Okay, and then under his face here, his beak's gonna make a shadow right there. And then his little gobbler things is gonna make a shadow under that. Okay, this side of the body, all of it's gonna be in shadow. So I can hold that down to make it look like a perfect arch. Fill this in. I think this arm and whole hand and everything's going to be in shadow over here. Just go all the way around the edges here. Connect it right there. Now we can just drag it and drop it over here. And all that's going to be in shadow, and this should be down here too. Leg's going to be in shadow. And not all of the foot. Some light might be able to get down there on the legs, the feet that are sticking out. So we're going to do maybe here. Maybe that much of the foot. And you can see these little things that didn't fill in good. You can go back and clean those up. Alright. And I mean, you want to get technical with it, the toenails should be also. Alright, that looks good. Stomach's gonna be putting a shadow on the leg right here. Oops, I went up too high. I'm gonna turn this sketch off because it's kind of bothering me. We don't need it anymore. Sketch off. Hit the little check mark, it'll turn it off. Now we won't see those lines coming through. Maybe this side of his leg will be in shadow. There we go. Yep. And the under portion of his hand. That's probably going to be in shadow. Maybe under this finger. Maybe bottom of this finger. And that finger I'm going to leave alone. Let me clean this up a little bit. There we go. Okay. What is that? I think I touched it by accident. What is that? Where's that at? Maybe on a line layer? Yeah. Sometimes you don't know, and you can turn these layers off and on if you don't know what layer it's on. You can tell real quickly. Alright, what else shadows we need? Maybe under the comb here? What happened? Shadow, I'm on the shadow layer. Black color. Why is that not drawing? Oh, I got eraser on. Stupid. Pen. Alright, and we're gonna just kind of curve this here. Alright, maybe a little bit here. In the back of the comb part. Put that in shadow. I think that's enough. Clean that up. Make sure that's looks better. Yeah, you know what? That light's gonna be onto that part right there, so I don't like that. I'm gonna erase. Maybe right there. Okay, anything else? Maybe under the eyes. Could be under the eyebrows. Maybe a little bit under. Oh, we got that one already. Okay. I think that's good. Shadows, maybe some under the feathers here. You can take it as far as you want. Alright, I think that's going to be good for the shadows. You know, you can spend as much time as you want to on it. Now we're going to do highlights. Now the highlights are going to be a lot less in the shadows. I'm usually heavier on the shadows than I am on the highlights. So I'm going to hit another layer. And let's rename that to highlight. And I know I didn't spell that right, but you know, it don't really matter. And we're going to do the opposite and change it to white. And then where the light's going to be hitting. So we know the light's coming from the top left. So we're probably going to have some right there. A little bit right there. a little bit right there. This side of the face. Okay, this side of the beak. Alright, maybe the comb right there. Of course, going to be on top of the finger. Maybe not right there. The body here a little bit. I don't know if it's going to reach down here, but you know, it don't matter. Okay. And I think that's about it. So again, like I said, I'm not going to do a lot of highlight compared to the shadows. Alright, I think that is good, and maybe some little things like that. Okay, now what we're going to do is going to go to the highlight and turn the opacity down on that too. And there. We got our highlights done. And now you can go kind of put in little details. I like kind of a trademark thing that a lot of people do, and I think looks good, is to do these 3 little dots. And just kind of gives it character. So 1, 2, 3, like that. Maybe right there. And if you don't like it, you can always just take it off. I think that's good enough. Another thing you can do is you can do these cross hatches. Like sometimes those look pretty kind of cool. So I don't know. We can do one. Maybe on his hand over there, just like that. So just showing you little kind of hints, little things that you can do to give it character. And then also what you can do is you can go up on your shadows layer, which is already opacity turned down, and you can do some more. They're kind of the same color as the shadow. So just whatever you like to do. But anyway, I think that's going to be it. The video is probably already really long, so we're going to end it right there. And there is our finished chicken. You can change the background color to be something else if you don't like white. There's black. Makes them really stand out a lot. But yeah, I want to thank you guys for joining me. I hope this has helped you a lot. Please like and subscribe. Hit the little bell icon. And I will see you on the next one. Thank you so much for joining me, and see you again.